Good evening. It's being called a blockbuster, sweeping changes to the country's tax system that will affect millions of people. In fact, seniors could get a tax break, but the move could also spell the end of income trusts. In a surprise move, Finance Minister Jim Flaherty announced a new tax on income trusts today, necessary, he said, to end what he called a worrying trend, one he said was threatening economic growth and shifting too much of the country's tax burden onto individual Canadians. Paul Hunter reports.
I'm here this evening.
It came with practically no warning. Late this afternoon, Canada's finance minister and a dramatic new tax plan for income trusts.
It's a plan designed to level the playing field between income trusts and corporations. The measures I am bringing forward are necessary to restore balance and fairness to Canada's tax system.
The suggestion by Jim Flaherty, income trusts are bleeding federal and provincial treasuries. When corporations convert to income trusts, profits are paid directly to investors. So investors like it. In turn, those corporations see their taxes effectively disappear. Their stock value often shoots up. And although individual investors get taxed, typically their seniors and their tax rate is lower. Win-win. But for federal and provincial coffers, the cost in lost taxes is steep.
Left unchecked, such corporate decisions would result in billions of dollars in less revenue for the federal government to invest in the priorities of Canadians.
So here's what Ottawa's doing. First, those corporate tax profits will be taxed before they go to investors, effectively ending a tax dodge to be phased in over 4 years for current income trusts. In turn, the corporate tax rate will go down a smidge, but for seniors who'd relied on income trust cash, big tax breaks. The age credit amount on tax returns will go up $1,000 to $5,066 effective this year. And something seniors have long lobbied for, income splitting for pensioners at tax time, potentially a huge savings. Those two breaks alone will save seniors roughly $1 billion a year in taxes. Independent MP Garth Turner has long fought for such a break.
Approximately 2.5 million retired Canadians will benefit from this move. It's really huge for them.
But for corporations that had converted, or as with communications giant BCE announcing its intentions to do so just this month, now facing unexpected taxes, the question, what will today's announcement do to their stock value tomorrow?
The morning is going to be a fascinating place on Bay Street. The minister's announcement will be a bombshell, so absolutely the market's going to open with a cloud over it.
All of this without even so much as a hint these changes were coming, perhaps not unintentionally. Last time Ottawa even talked about taxing income trusts, investors ran the other way fast. This time, with taxes for real, market investors have just the one night to sleep on it. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, Finance Minister Jim Flaherty joins us now from Ottawa. How worried are you, Minister, about what might happen on the markets tomorrow morning?
Well, the markets will react, I'm sure, to the taxation change, and that is obviously something that we've taken into consideration. There's not much we can do about it. We have to look at the long-term good of Canada. We have to look at the fact that corporations are going to income trusts just for tax reasons, and that means individuals and their families would have to shoulder the tax burden. We think big corporations in Canada have to pay their fair share of taxes for healthcare and education and the other needs of Canadians.
Well, I'm sure it's no surprise to you, or perhaps it is, but a lot of people in the business sector are speaking out tonight, nervous about tomorrow. Is there anything you can say tonight to calm those fears they may have?
Well, certainly. I think if you look at what we brought in for income trusts, nothing changes for 4 years. They'll continue their income distributions to their unit holders over the course of those 4 years. That's a year longer than Australia gave its income trust when it changed its system, as we are doing. They did theirs back in the 1980s. So there's a long time here where nothing will change directly. And then we have lower corporate taxes coming 4 years out as well. And then we have this tremendous tax change for seniors. This income splitting for pensions has been something that's been talked about for more than 40 years. And we're finally making the change now, which will help seniors in Canada.
Let me give you another quote from tonight. It was the CEO let me get it right here, the CEO of CI Financial. He told Canadian Press tonight, changing rules on a quarterly basis like that is really almost like an emerging market, like a third world market economy. He's talking about a year where you saw a year ago the former government, albeit, giving these changes or announcing that they would allow these income trust changes to take place. No word from your government in the early going that it was going to back off on that, and now changes again. A lot of decisions were made this year, $70 billion in corporate conversions. Well, how do you respond to criticism like that?
Well, the last government actually did nothing except muse about it, and that was the problem. There's still an RCMP investigation of the Department of Finance in Ottawa about leaks arising out of that. We did this the right way. We considered it for months. We thought about it. We maintained confidentiality. Only a few people in government were familiar with the fact that there were any discussions at all on this subject. I did not muse about it as finance minister. We waited till after the markets were closed. We were clear and we were decisive about what we're going to do, and we're providing a 4-year window so that the change will happen well down the road, which permits planning.
Yeah, as you said, you talked about this in a small group for months. When did you first realize that this was a problem that could get to the point where you were going to have to make changes? How long back is this?
Well, Peter, it goes well back to this year, shortly after I became finance minister, when we were starting to see more and more conversions. We had about $200 billion worth of conversions. This year, we were seeing more conversions and then different quality conversions. We started to see the telecom companies deciding to convert to income trusts. And this is a challenge to our economy because these are capital-intensive businesses in telecommunications. They're not passive investments. We want reinvestments in telecommunications and technology and so on. So we're seeing something different happen. We're also seeing a domino effect from TELUS to BCE following TELUS for competitive reasons. And we were seeing corporations go to income trusts openly, not because it was a good business decision, but because of tax reasons. And that's not a good way for corporations to plan in Canada, so we're trying to move away from that. We could have waited another year or whatever, but the situation would have become worse over that time. We could have had many more conversions, including in financial institutions and so on. So the government decided it needed to act at this time. We acted clearly and decisively.
Minister, we appreciate your time today, and like you, we'll be waiting to see what tomorrow brings on this. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Peter.